Kids, Chapter 2, assignment number 15. So, what's up, G? Here we go. We're going to draw a free body diagram. A rope exerts a force of 21 newtons at an angle 31 degrees above the horizontal. Okay. I'm going to call it force tension. You call it whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Fred. I don't know. And just to make life simple, I'm going to put X and Y here. And that's 31 degrees. Okay. And the box is at rest. This is really important, right? Acceleration is equal to 0. All the acceleration. X, Y, it's not moving. Acceleration X, acceleration Y. So because it's not moving, we're interested in using the coefficient of static friction. All right? Coefficient of static friction. And we need some more forces. Force of gravity. Right? Normal force. Right? And then I think what would be smart for you kids to do is calculate force of tension, right? X component. Like an ordered pair, you can use it as you want. Force of tension, Y component. I strongly suggest you do that. And then it says, determine the smallest possible mass of the box. Now, the reason it's the smallest possible mass, I need you to think about this. The reason it's the smallest possible mass is, look, force static friction is equal to mu s times the normal force. Okay? Now, the normal force here, I'm going to tell you right now, the normal force here and the force of gravity here are not equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. They're not. Because you've got force tension Y. It's kind of lifting it slightly off the surface. Remember the last time we talked about this? In grade 11, we would have thought it's on the surface, it's off the surface. It's on the surface, it's off the surface. It was very, I said it was very binary, right? 1, 0. No, this is quite analog, right? You know what I mean by that? Okay. Analog. That means it can hold any position of, or excuse me, any value of normal force from the maximum to if it's completely lifted off. All right. So keep that in mind. But regardless of that, this, even though it's not equal to it, normal force is still dependent on force of gravity because it's in the Y component with it. All right. So if you have more mass, there will be more normal force. Okay. And if there's more normal force, right, there's more static friction. So the reason they're asking for the smallest one is, what is the smallest mass, which will lead to the smallest force of gravity, which will lead to the smallest normal force, which will lead to the smallest force of static friction, that will still keep this box from moving if we have this force acting on it. Because a bigger mass, right? That's infinite. That's not where the threshold of the question is, right? Because bigger, I'm getting more and more and more friction. I want to bring it to the threshold where Where is it happen so that with this particular situation, with this particular coefficient of static friction, with this particular mass, right? That's the smallest mass that will keep it still, right? The smallest mass that will keep it still with this scenario. Aiden, you asked, are you following my line of thought here? Okay. So now, required mass, right? Analysis. Aiden, what type of question is this? It's a dynamics problem. Most of the time, dynamics problems start with you think you could take it from there? Yeah? Okay, good.